When it comes to vaccines, no one is a stranger to the concept. From the time when the babies are born, they're inoculated with various vaccines, and during the annual influenza season, vaccines are significant in preventing and coping with influenza. You could say that vaccinations are one of the greatest discoveries in the history of medicine. The first vaccination in history was the smallpox vaccine, which helped the humans completely eradicate the disease, saving countless lives. In the 18th century Asia, over 800,000 people died every year from smallpox. While the introduction and spread of the smallpox vaccine into China was not just a product of medical advances, but also closely interwoven with counter-exchange between China and the West. Early in the 19th century, the smallpox vaccine arrived in Macau, Guangzhou, and other areas. To start with, Chinese citizens did not trust this form of Western hocus-pocus, believing that after they were inoculated, they might grow horns or develop infectious diseases such as scarlet fever. However, a merchant by the name of Qiu Xi realized the great significance of this invention and was the first to volunteer to have the smallpox inoculation done on himself. Qiu Xi went first to Guangzhou and found merchant sponsors working in foreign trade in the 13 factories at the time. These merchants spent much of their time engaging with foreigners. They realized the historic significance that promoting the smallpox vaccine would have on the future of mankind. Thus, they all came forward with funds to establish a vaccine institute. Due to various spurious rumors, few people took advantage of this opportunity to begin with. Qiu Xi and the sponsors got together to discuss this and decided to implement a measure that had even greater appeal: inoculation in return for cash payments. With the lure of this payment, many people came forward with their children to have them vaccinated. The more people realized that nothing bad was happening to their children as a result, and that a deadly smallpox epidemic was no longer a threat to them. On top of this, Qiu Xi published a book in 1817 titled Introducing the Smallpox Vaccine, in which he used the concepts of yin-yang and the 5 elements along with traditional Chinese medicine to account for the rationality of the smallpox vaccine, and cleared many obstacles standing in the way of the vaccine becoming prevalent throughout China. With the double guarantees of an effective vaccine and theoretical backing, the various spurious rumors collapsed, and the smallpox vaccine rapidly won the confidence of the Chinese people and swiftly spread throughout the country, helping to bring the disease under control. The successful popularization of the smallpox vaccine greatly facilitated the field of the inoculations and modern medicine to spread to Guangzhou and other areas. A large number of Western-style hospitals began to appear along the coast of South China Sea. Vaccinations for the plague, cholera, and other diseases came into Hong Kong, Guangzhou, Shantou, and other cities, helping to effectively control many infectious diseases. These cities become important transfer stations for the vaccinations, such as the smallpox vaccine, as they journeyed into Southeast Asia. And word of how Chinese people used cowpox to prevent smallpox was spread to other countries surrounding the South China Sea. Leading figures and doctors from nearby nations began arriving in China on a medical pilgrimage. In 1819, the smallpox vaccine found its way to Singapore. In 1820, the King of Vietnam ordered doctors to Macau to get the smallpox vaccine and promote it throughout the nation. The humans' battle against disease along with the spread of the smallpox vaccine not only required scientific advances, but also cross-cultural bridges being formed. The vast expanses of the South China Sea have always been a vital highway and hotbed of trade on the maritime Silk Road. It is also an area that has allowed communication and fusion between different modern civilizations, including modern medicine. And it is exactly for that reason that the area has seen the growth of so many diverse cultures.